Honorable Onawos.
8, Rule 46 and 49 on the killings of innocent Fulani men in Nasarawa State, in Kiana local government of Nasarawa State, by our military personnel who went out on rampage without the authorities of the military to commit this mayhem, which I consider a human rights abuse, and I look at it as, if not checked, this can go a long way to harm our communities, and it might occur subsequently in other places. So, with the leave of the House, sir, I want to be permitted to move this motion, sir.
Any seconder? Any seconder?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Amiri Akitel. I start to second the motion moved by Honorable Onawos. I so by second.
The Right Honorable Speaker, sir. The motion is titled "The Urgent Need to Investigate the Selective Killings of Fulani by Army Personnel at Kiana in Nasarawa State." That this House notes that the activities of the Embassy Group and the Chief Fulani clashes made it necessary to post military personnel to some parts of Nasarawa State. Further notes that there is a restoration of peace and order in the state as a result of which local government election was conducted recently. Aware that barely 24 hours after a peace pact was signed by the Fulani and chief nationalities in the state to end the incessant communal clashes with the Deputy Inspector General of Police Operations, Mr. Michael Zokomo, on Nasarawa border at Marabangiza community in Kiana, the military in Nasarawa State went on rampage, which resulted in the killing of over 15 Fulanis in the same area. Further aware that the Fulanis that were killed have been in the area for over 20 years and have lived peacefully with the indigenous populace throughout the period. Cognizance that the killings is believed to be selective, calculated and arbitrary in view of the fact that there was no reported incident of breakdown of law and order in the area, and the Army authorities denied knowledge of any incident that may be responsible for the killings by the Army personnel. Worried that the Director of Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukolade, while confirming lack of knowledge of what prompted the killings by Army personnel, admitted that the incident is certainly not in line with the pattern of their operations, but promised to investigate the matter and arrive at a good conclusion. Established that the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, in a condolence visit to the paramount ruler of Kiana, the Osana of Kiana, Senator Emmanuel Onyatipo Elayo, confirmed that the Fulanis killed were herdsmen and never insurgents, as fallaciously reported by some media organizations. Regrets that this gross abuse of human rights in a democratic dispensation may induce possible reprisal attacks by the families of the victims, which may aggravate the situation through loss of innocent lives and properties, especially given the fact that the military and the mobile police personnel have been withdrawn from Kiana area for a reason best known to the authorities, but which makes the area more vulnerable. Further regrets that if urgent action is not taken, the anticipated episode might plunge the state into another phase of renewed turmoil, with terrible dimension of seeing the army and civilian populace killing one another. This House does resolve to urge the House to condemn the action of the army personnel in unequivocal terms. Urge the House to direct the committees on army, justice and human rights to have interface with the military authorities to investigate this unfortunate saga and make appropriate recommendations to deal with the situation and related future eventualities, and direct the committees to report to the House within 2 weeks. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
The motion. Yes, sir. As your neighbor.
I'm representing Taroni Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State. I hereby second the motion as moved by Honorable Onawos. Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, let me just invite Honorable Onawos to give us an insight into this, and then we take a vote on this.
The Honorable Speaker, sir, it is a known fact that Fulani herdsmen have constituted themselves into what we might call a nuisance in sporadic killings, especially like the one that happened in Zamfara State of late. But that does not give our military personnel, who are supposed to be protecting the lives of innocent people, to go on a rampage to kill those that are not involved into this mayhem. If you say Fulanis generally are the ones committing this, amongst us here we have Fulani people, and anybody amongst us could be a victim. These military personnel loaded themselves in 3 Hilux buses, which the army authority said that they did not authorize them to go and do this operation. They went from Fulani camp to Fulani camp and killed over 15 people. From reports read in various newspapers, some reported 30, some reported 50. But the ones that were buried by the local government, that the paramount ruler confirmed that there are people living amongst them, were over 15. And so, sir, I would want this issue to be investigated, because if it is not, a similar thing could happen to any community. There are clashes between Tiv people and Alago people, Agatu people and Tiv people, Fulani people and Alago people, Egon people and Fulani and Alago and Tiv, all in Nasarawa State and Benue. If these military people can decide on their own and go out, any of us within that zone is in danger. And that is why I'm bringing this motion before this Honorable House, that I want you to look at the severity of this occasion and see that, and order that this case be investigated to stop further killings of innocent civilians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
My dear colleagues, I think the motion is well understood. The prayer is also very clear. Does anybody want to speak against this motion? Amendment, Honorable Betty.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Betty Apiafi. I represent Abua Odo Federal Constituency. I'm from Rivers State. Mr. Speaker, all I want to say is that part of the resolution is to urge the House to condemn the action of the military army personnel in unequivocal terms. And I don't think we need to condemn when we are asking the Committee on Army Justice and Human Rights to investigate the issue. So my amendment is to remove the first.
I saw second.
Those in favor of this amendment that will observe a mini silence, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. You can bring the amendment for us to put 5 minutes silence. You can bring your own amendment. My dear colleagues, those in favor of this motion as amended, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. May we please rise to observe a minute silence. May the souls of the deceased and Nasarawa